guys, welcome to the Ogando family channel. Today my husband and I will be making Dominican beef, rice, and beans.
Va a ser carne de res guisada, arroz blanco y habichuelas rojas.
If you would like to learn how to make this, come along with us. Okay guys, so the first thing that you want to do is season your beef. So the seasons that we'll be using today is sazón completo, which is complete seasoning. You just want to put a generous amount to your liking. We don't measure anything in this house. We just use our eyes to measure. Okay, and then we'll be adding some beef powder, caldo de res. And also some salt and pepper. And we also smashed up some garlic with Dominican oregano. So I'm gonna show you guys the Dominican oregano. This came straight from Dominican Republic. At least I think so, it says Dominican. A Dominican oregano. This just gives the food a very strong earthy flavor. It's very, very good, a lot stronger than regular oregano. So you're gonna put your garlic and oregano in the beef, and you're going to mix everything together. Okay, you also want to put a little bit of olive or vegetable oil. In this case, we prefer the vegetable oil because it gives it a better flavor than the olive oil. So about a capful. After mixing all of the spices together, you need to add your chopped onion. You can do white or red. In this case, we did a red onion. Also some green pepper and some red pepper. Today we'll be using dried pinto beans, around 2 to 3 cups to 6 cups of water. We just add that into the pressure cooker along with the chunk of red pepper, green pepper, a few cloves of garlic, basil leaf, and a chunk of red onion. We're not going to add any salt because we'll be adding a lot of spices later and we don't want to make the beans too salty. So once you add everything into your pressure cooker, you want to put the lid, you want to put it on the bean setting. And I like to start off cooking it around 15 minutes and see if it's the consistency that I like, if it's not too soft, not too hard, but that's definitely up to you and your liking. Remember that you will continue to cook the beans once you add all the spices, so you don't want them to be too soft. So I'm going to go ahead and start that, let that pressure cook, and I'll bring you guys back when that's done. Okay guys, so now we're moving on to the rice. We're going to be cooking our rice today in a rice cooker. You want to do the same ratio of rice to the same ratio of water. So today we're doing 2 cups of rice to 2 cups of water. You also want to add a half a spoon of salt. So we put 2 cups of water into our rice cooker. We're adding a half a spoon of salt, stirring that together, and then we'll add our 2 cups of jasmine rice. This is the rice that we prefer to use. Really any brand of jasmine rice, we just prefer the jasmine. After you put all of that into the pot, I'll show you what to do next. So again, that's 2 cups of rice to 2 cups of water. If you're doing 4 cups of rice, you would do 4 cups of rice to 4 cups of water. And in that case, you would use a full spoon of salt. And that also just depends how salty you like your rice. We're also having beans over this rice, so we don't want to make it too salty. So once you add all of that, you're going to put that into your rice cooker, and you're going to turn your rice cooker on and just let it do the work. Okay guys, now that you've marinated your beef for a minimum of 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and start cooking it. So the first thing you want to do is add about 2 to 3 capfuls of vegetable oil, and then about a spoonful of brown sugar. Now I know this might sound crazy, but the brown sugar is going to give the beef a beautiful. Okay, so once your sugar looks really dark brown, almost black, that's when you're gonna go ahead and add your beef. You want to leave most of the peppers and onions and other ingredients inside of the bowl and just add the beef. Once you see that your meat is a dark brown on one side, you're going to go ahead and flip it. The full recipe will be located in the description box below. So after you have cooked your meat, you just want to keep flipping it just to ensure that it doesn't burn. After your beef is golden brown, you can go ahead and add your vegetables. Now you want to let this simmer for, I would say, about 4 minutes. You don't want to cook your vegetables too soft. And now we're going to go ahead and add the cilantro and green onions. We're going to mix all of that together. And again, let that cook for around 4 to 5 minutes. Now we're going to add about a spoonful to 2 spoonfuls of some ketchup. It's better to use tomato sauce if you have it. We didn't have any on hand, so we're just going to go ahead and use ketchup. It's more or less the same. And you want to add 1 cup of water. Give that a stir. And now you're going to let this simmer for about 5 or 6 more minutes. Okay guys, so our rice is done. So my husband's just going to go ahead and stir it. We will make a separate video in the future on how to make rice if you do not have a rice cooker. However, today we're kind of in a rush, so we just decided to use our rice cooker. That's all done, so we're going to top that and just let it sit for about 3 or 4 more minutes. Okay, so after pressure cooking your beans, this is what they should look like. You can go ahead and remove all of the peppers. Once you remove the peppers, we'll start to put our spices. Okay guys, now I'm going to start putting my seasoning. So first, I'm going to start with some caldo de pollo, which is just some chicken powder. Put about a spoon of that. It's low sodium, so I'm going to put a spoon of that. Then I'm going to add some Sazon Tropical. I'm going to put a spoon of that as well. Then I'm also going to add some cumin. Some onion powder. I'm just going to use the rest. There's not much left in there. Some garlic. Some white pepper. As well as some celery salt. This is optional. I'm also going to add some oregano. I'm just going to do regular. And then I'm going to add some auyama. So this is just calabaza, I think is another way to say it, but it's just some pumpkin chunks. Now I'm putting a lot because I made a lot of beans, but that's just going to make it creamy. You'll see that at the end. I'm going to put on a saute setting and continue to cook it. I'm also going to add some olives, just a few. And I add 3 olives. And a little bit of ketchup as well. Just a squirt. And as I said with the beef, it's better to use tomato paste or tomato sauce. However, we don't have any, so ketchup works great. Okay, then you're just gonna let this boil, and once this boils, I'll bring you back and show you how it looks. I'm also gonna add this red onion, red pepper, green pepper, cilantro, green onion. I know that we put some in when we pressure cook it. However, by adding some while I'm cooking it, it's just gonna give it more flavor. So you're just gonna stir that in, and soon that will come to a boil. And once the pumpkin gets soft, we'll be ready to go to the next step. Okay, at this point, this is how your beans should look. About this consistency. Now I'm going to add 1 capful of apple cider vinegar. 1 capful. I'm also going to add some brown sugar. You can use white sugar preferably actually, but I don't have any. So this will work. It's about that much. You don't want to add too much. You're not trying to make it too sweet. This gives it a little touch. I also added a little bit of salt because I saw that it wasn't really salty enough. So now I'm going to take all of the pumpkin out and also the green onion and cilantro, and I'm going to blend it in a blender and then add it back into the beans. Now we're going to blend our pumpkin, cilantro, green onion, a little bit of the beans, and a little bit of the liquid. Okay, once you have that blended, now we're going to add that back into the beans. I also added a few black olives into the beans as well. Take this lid off. And we're going to add this puree back into the beans. After you add your puree back into the beans, this is how they should look. Now, once these beans continue to cook, they will become a little thicker. Okay, guys, this is how the beef should look once it's done. As you can see, it's juicy, nice golden brown. Okay, guys, now for the final part, the taste test. Oh my goodness, this looks so delicious. I'm gonna let him taste it first and then I can taste it. A little bit of rice, a little bit of aguacate. You good? What about the meat? Taste that meat. I can hear the juice.
It's juicy?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm gonna taste it. You convincing me. Let's see. Let's see, guys. How did we do? The beans are creamy from the pumpkin. Let me taste some meat. Mm-hmm. 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 Guys, you have to try this. I think I'm gonna keep this plate since I got my baba everywhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Woo. You have to try this. Try it. It's so good. Alright guys, we're gonna enjoy our dinner with our kids. If you try this, please leave a comment and let us know. And we'll see you in the next video.